Okay, here I am first thing in the morning. I'm trying to get my 30% shade cloth up, and the way I'm doing it is with PVC pipe. So what I'm doing is, on my tomato trellises over here, that I could go ahead and walk under like this, all the way down. And I'll have tomatoes growing on that side and that side. I could walk down and pick. I'm also going ahead and I attached 1-inch PVC pipe to the top. I drilled a hole all the way down and I attached it from the top. That way the shade cloth does not get stuck on the sharp points. And I'm using the PVC to go down and make a frame, and then I'm clipping on the shade cloth using copper clips. And this is what it looks like. It should work out pretty good. The shade cloth is removable, so I could fold it up. The tomatoes will get morning sun this way. On the top, it'll stop from the afternoon. And then the afternoon sun, which is hot, I could stop it or fold it up and get full ventilation and full sunlight. That's just going to depend on the weather and what it looks like. So this is my prototype. And now I'm going to go ahead and mass produce this. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them I'm going to put up. And that will give my tomatoes some shade. Now for other plants, I have these panels over here, which I'm going to put shade cloth. Let me do it this way. I'm going to go ahead and attach shade cloth to these. And these panels, I could take out of the ground like that. I could turn them sideways, put them in the ground, press them in the ground like that. And it would give shade in the afternoon onto whatever I plant there. I could also go ahead and put shade cloth on top, because these are going to be low-lying plants. So anyway, here I am first thing in the morning. It's a little overcast. We're going to get some rain. I try to do everything first thing in the morning, because about 12 o'clock it's going to be 80-something degrees out. And I like working in the morning than the afternoon. But this is it. This is what it's going to look like. It's a work in progress. I'll have them all done here pretty shortly. Got all my working tools right here. And got my PVC pipe I got to cut up there. And over here. So before long, I'll have it all done. So for right now, let me get to it. Hopefully I'll have all this done and I'll be planting here shortly. Let's go ahead and take a look to see how my plants are doing. I had them sowing in the house. They got to the size I wanted. I moved them out on the porch so they could acclimate. I moved them out after the last frost we had. We had a heavy freeze. It would have killed them. So now they're on the porch and they're protected. So let's take a little peek. Here you go. These are Mexican sunflowers. These are Comfrey 14. These are spinaches. Those there are tomato plants. There's some trees. And peppers and stuff like that right there. So pretty much I got it covered. They are all waiting to go into the ground. Probably in the next week or two. We got one more cold spell coming up in about 5 days or so. Then from there, the next month looks pretty good. But if by some chance we do have some frost coming, I have all this shade cloth that I'll just drape over what I plant, and that should protect them from the frost, and everything should be all good. But just in case that doesn't work out like I planned, I'm only going to plant half of my tomatoes and peppers and stuff, and then I'm going to wait another 2 weeks after that or so till I'm 100% sure that we're not going to have any frost or anything like that, or cold spell, and then I'll plant the rest. They're doing good on the porch. They could grow a little bigger. It's okay with me, but I do want to get them into the ground. So okay, I went ahead and cut all the PVC pieces. I got my rebar right over there, which goes in the bottom to hold it down in the ground. Got all my PVC pieces cut for all of them. I went ahead and cut and installed these. If you can see how I put a slit going all the way down like that on each one, and then slid it all the way over on the top. They're in there nice and secure, and this is what it looks like. Okay, that's what all that looks like. I got my PVC on the ground all cut out. All I got to do is go ahead and get the sleeves and the elbows going. And once I do that and put the rebar in, I got elbows and I got sleeves. And then I got a drill up there and put wire, like right over here, which is holding it on. You go up through both and down around. That holds it nice and secure. Then you secure it to the top of that, and you got yourself some nice shade cover just like this that you could get under. In between, there's plenty of room over here to get around your tomatoes, and you got shade, and that should work out really good. Plus they're removable. I got copper alligator clips. Just remove it, and then you don't have any. So if there's a storm coming, I could just come out here and take that off in, you know, a couple minutes, let the storm pass over, and then go ahead and put it back up. That's Florida for you. You gotta think of having everything removable, because if you don't, the wind will just come and take it away. You know, hurricane I'm talking about, or a big tropical storm. But that's it. The PVC is up. Now I got to go ahead and connect everything, and right after this, then I'll go ahead and cut all of my 30% shade cloth. Okay, I'm out here again in the morning and trying to finish up on my structure for the 30% shade cloth, and this is kind of what I was doing. Okay, I went ahead and took some fencing like this, and I cut out the sections like that, and that's what I used on the top. I'll show you later. And I used some fit-ins and some tools, and I went ahead and used rebar to enforce everything. So let's take a little tour. Okay, this here is how I'm putting it on. Down on the bottom here, I got rebar in the ground, so I just slip it over the rebar that holds the bottom. All the tops, I'm utilizing this right here. I drilled a hole and put it through and wrapped it around. And then on these here, I utilize wire going down, but all of these joints here, I'm using these The reason being is I could undo it real quick if I wanted to, in case if a hurricane was coming, and I could undo these. I'm using solid copper alligator clips to hold these on. You know, if you want, you could use more like this. I might put one more in the center, but you don't need it because it's only cloth. The cloth over here, it's made so if I undo the bottom clips, I could go ahead and roll it up and put it up here so there's just top shade. And I think that's all I really need is top shade. So the morning over here, that is the east. The morning sun will come through and hit the plants. The sun in the afternoon will be shaded. I mean, you know, about noontime, it's straight above. And then the afternoon, towards the real hot of the summer, I could roll this down and block the afternoon shade completely, or I could roll it up, and just clip it with the clips right here, and it'll get afternoon sun too, but stop the heat of the day. Let me put this away. So I went ahead and attached it from this cage to that cage. Walking down in here, I could go ahead and work on the tomato plants and put them up. I could go ahead and enter the cage from this side. Or I could walk down this path, which I left in case it gets thick over there. And I could walk in the center, and I could work on the tomato plants from both sides on the inside. I'm going to try to keep this clear so there's a breeze going through. Then also, get down here on the bottom, I left 18 inches, if you can see, from the bottom of the post up, I left 18 inches. This way I could grow the tomato up and then start tying them up. But down here, there's airflow, and I'm going to trim, see if you can see my hand there, I'm going to trim the tomato plants. There won't be any leaves from here to here, no leaves on tomato plant. All the leaves and the stems are going to start from there on up. So it's going to take a little bit of trimming. Here is one of my grapevines. I'm training it to go this way and both ways on that cable. Just figured I'd show you that since I'm there. So let's go ahead and I'll show you what the frame looks like before I go ahead and put the tops on it. So I went ahead and did the frame. And on the bottom, got the rebar on all of them. The spacing over here is the same. The spacing on the top's the same. And the way I did that is I utilized a little system of, you go ahead and take yourself a piece of pipe and you put marks on it. So every time you make one of those, the cut and the drill hole and everything's all spaced out. 2 inches from the end, you know, 13 foot across, or, you know, whatever it is, you got your measurements. And so anyway, let me turn this. This is what the cage looks like without anything on it. It's pretty sturdy. They move just a little bit, but hey, you know, you kind of want that actually. So this is what it looks like. And here's another. And there's another. And what I did on the tops over here of each one, if you can see, I drill, with the tabletop saw, let's see if I get this, I cut all the way down, and then since it's a tight fit, I slid them in this way so they're on there like really good. This is 1 inch pipe and this is 1/2 inch pipe. These are all on good, and the reason for that, if you notice, all these sides here, they have a little cut mark, and this is sharp, and it will catch, you know, the shade cloth on top. So now everything can slide over it. When the wind blows, all this here on top, when the wind blows, there's nothing to catch on, so the shade cloth won't go. I'm going to come in here later on and cut all these off with a grinder, and they should be smooth on the sides too, so I don't go ahead and catch my shirts on them. So I still got to go ahead and cut these off, make them smooth. Might even do these. Don't really need it though. So anyway, garden's real fertile. I got mushrooms growing everywhere in the garden right now. Mushrooms, mushrooms, mushrooms. What that's doing, it's breaking down all the compost. This is fresh chips. There's none in here. All this here is good compost. You see chips on top, but as soon as you get down under there, look at the soil. As soon as you remove the chips, that's good, rich. I'll be planting in that. Look at that. That's what I'll be planting in. So you're just seeing the chips on top, so that's what's growing there. This is my spinach. I had it covered, but you can see the frost did get some, but the majority of it's living. And the same thing over here, the cold got some. Over here, these leaves here I could just pull off, but the stems are living, so I'll get new growth. But before the cold, I went ahead and put some clip-ins on the porch that you've seen, and I could transplant them out here. So I love these carts. I could take everything around when I'm working in the garden, have all my tools. If it starts raining, I could just put it away real quick. But that's what it looks like right there. So I'm gonna go ahead now and take out the roll. It's 10 foot by 200 foot. I'm gonna put some boards and mark it on the ground. I'm gonna go ahead and cut enough to finish those off. And I'll bring the camera with me over there and show you what that looks like. Okay, so I'm in the driveway, and I took the roll and I rolled it out, and over there on the ground I went ahead and put some marks on the ground. I used tape, so that way I know that every piece is going to have the proper measurement. So I held it down with some blocks, and I made it to where the separation of the concrete on the ground, right there, I don't know if you can see that, right there, the separation of the concrete is my cut line. So it's straight all the way down. That's what the roll looks like, all the way down. So now I got to get my scissors out and give it a cut, and just keep repeating that, and I'll have some even strips. So anyway, let me go get my scissors and I'll be back. I'm going to go ahead and cut those and roll them up and bring them over there to the garden. Okay, so pretty much I rolled it out. I have it held down on my marks, and I got my cut line. There you go, automatic roll it up. And there you have it. Here's a section right here to go to the garden. I'm just going to go ahead and repeat this a few times, and then they'll all be cut to the size and dimensions that I need. It's 10 foot wide, and then I'll go over there and put them on the frame and the support system that I built. Okay, so I got alligator clips. I'll just clip it there. And let me undo this. Okay, there you got it. Got it up. Can walk down the whole center. Walk on the inside. And if you need to roll it up, you can just get these up. Make that so you can get right through, the sun can get through. Okay, so basically that gives you an idea of how it's done. Let me go around this way. And that's it. Right there. So, since I cut them over there by the garage, and I got them all here cut out to the sizes I need, when I come here, I just clip them up, and they're all going to be easy to go on. And if a big storm's coming, like a hurricane or something like that, tropical, I just unclip them and bring them inside, and they won't get ruined. And I just leave them up when I got plants in the ground, and I'll take them down at the times when there's no plants on the ground, and they'll last longer. The shade cloth itself, this is what it looks like right here. You see 30%. It's overcast today and it's wet out, so you can kind of see this is what it looks like right here. Okay, let me get to work. I'm going to put all those up and then I'll do a little tour. Okay, I just got finished putting up all the 30% shade cloth, and let's go ahead and do a little tour and you'll be able to see what it looks like. Okay, going into the garden. Put up some trellises over here, and the trellises will hold plants like one here, 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 in between each one like that, and then could put some down the middle and then on the other side. That way if the plants are heavy, they don't fall over. And then you have your tall trellis, which will have like vine type, and then you got some more ground trellises. Coming over here, we got our tomatoes trellis, and I put up the 30% shade cloth. That's going to protect everything from the sun. That's what it looks like from in between and underneath, right there, on both sides. So this is, you walk through here, and you can walk through right there. And coming over here, I got another tomato, and got some more low-lying trellises, which will be for like bell peppers or something like that. And over here I got some more low-lying ones, and then over here I got some straight ones. The straight ones are going to have plants on this side and this side, here and here, each one going down the row like that. And of course, all the way down, every one of these arches are going to have a vine type. Here's another tomato bed. And here's another tomato bed. And got the shade cloth over it. Going through, got some more trellises for plants to be in rows. Got this trellis here straight for some type of vine to go over it. Got this trellis here for vines to grow up, both sides, and then grow over. And the same thing over there. With this mulch, if you get any weeds, you just go like that, and the weeds come up just like that, root and all. So it's easy to pull the weeds out. Okay, let's move on along and take a little tour. Go to the new section. That's a 16-foot gate I got there. Here's a new section. This is a 10-foot gate right there. Tractor could go up on in there. Got a 16-foot gate here. This is all open for the tractor. And this is the other side. I got mulch that I'm going to be composting, got horse manure and sheep manure, and I'm going to be working on this new area eventually. But for right now, this is what we got right here. I put in grapevines. The grapevines are going to grow up. Then they're going to go along that cable. There's another grapevine over there, another one down there. Grapevine over here, it's going to grow up. It's going to grow on the cable. So basically when you come in, you'll have a grapevine coming up here, go along the cable, and you'll have another one over here growing up on the cable. Then another one down there and another one down there, all going to be up on the cable. This is going to be mulched in. This is for the tractor. This here is a hugelkultur bed right here. I still got to build it up and layer it. The tractor goes up on in here. This is a hugelkultur bed up in here. This here is so the tractor could get up in there. Once again, there's the grapevine. It's going to grow up on that cable. Okay, here you go. This is a hugelkultur bed. This is for the tractor. Could go through. I could bring in heavy items, trays and stuff with the fork and the bucket. Here's a hugelkultur bed right here. And once again, this is for the tractor to go in. Plenty of room for the tractor. And this is a hugelkultur bed. You can see I started putting debris on top. All of them are going to look like that, and then I'll layer it on up. And then you got another grapevine there. So let's go ahead and take a tour on back and see what all this looks like. Okay, all of this going down, I forgot to say, and all of that going down this year, this is all going to be watermelons and melons. But for right here, got grapevine already trained. It's going along over here, and it goes up to the top, and it's going along the top right now. This one I'm training still. And here you go again. Another grapevine, 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 grapevine. And this is the vineyard. I got a grapevine here. It's coming up. It's being trained to go that way. It's coming up and being trained to go that way. Same thing here, grapevine coming up. I got to train it. It's coming up, it's going that way. Another grapevine coming up, it's going that way and that way. Then it's going up and it'll be trained. Got this grapevine coming up, it's going that way, it's going that way, it's going up, and it's trained to go that way, and it'll go that way eventually. Same thing for this one over here. So there's my vignette right there. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 going down that way. And same thing here. Got a grapevine. It's trained to go up. It's going to go along that. Go along the top. This one here is trained to go up. It's going to go both ways. And same thing with that on top. It's going to go both ways. And the same thing for the next one. It's already going up. It's going to go both ways on the vine. You can see it right here. It's all the way down to here. So this one's going to meet in the center, and then it's going to go down that way. I'm going to have fruit trees spread around the yard. These here are lumquats, 3 different varieties. They're waiting to get transplanted, but right back in here for the beds, this is going to be all melons going down this way and then all down the other way. But that's what the garden looks like right there. Okay, so you just got a little bit of a tour of what I'm working on at the moment. Everything takes time. I'll probably have it all done in about a year or so. But for now, I got the regular garden. Next year, I'll be planting in the hugelkultur garden. I'm thinking of putting in a gate right here. Well, I think even, yeah, I think the gate's going to go right here. I got the post, got the gate. I'll cut through there, and this will be an opening. And then it will go straight through like that. And straight through like that. The tractor could go in, and I could go in that way. I don't have to go all the way around. Okay, so here you go. Okay, that was my little garden tour. Hope you enjoyed it. It's not really a whole lot of green or colors in there right now, but this is Florida and we're in February, and I'm gonna be planting. I'll show you the plants on the porch here in a second, but I'm gonna start planting right now that I got the shade cloth all done. Shade cloth will protect from the sun, also the frost, and if we do get a frost coming, I'll go ahead and put some protection right over the plants too, besides what I got up above there, and that should probably protect it from the frost, not the cold but the frost. So I think we're good to go. Okay, got plants on my porch, and all these I took from clip-ins just before the winter came. Got some comfrey. All this comfrey would be planted. That's going to be fertilizer. What's a garden to be without a little aloe? But here I got some Mexican sunflowers, which is going to be fertilizer eventually. And here's some other plants. They're getting ready to be planted here shortly. They'll all be in the garden. And right over here, we got tomatoes. I bring them outside in the bins. This way, the breeze and the sun and the weather, today's overcast, and you can see the breeze is blowing them all. They could toughen up a little bit. But these are all going to be planted in the garden here. I don't know, in about a week or two, they'll be in the garden. Okay, there you go. That's my plan. Sometimes plans work out and sometimes they don't. So I'm going to go ahead and put everything away, tend to my plan.